We look at it in a couple of different ways. I mean, certainly the bottom line, it always comes down to dollars and cents. We just had our health insurance renewal, and we saw the overall spend from the healthcare went down significantly last year. So, we get back our original increase at 10%. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work. Then we get to 7%. No, that's not going to work. So after a lot of negotiating, we basically got a 0% increase for 2012. Now, so to me, that return on investment is, instead of a $66,000 increase that they started at, we're at zero. And that, I think, it's hard for us to say, oh yeah, it was because we put in this wellness plan. Because who knows? We haven't even seen next year's results yet. But I think that ultimately, because there's a little more awareness, because there's a little more thought to it, that because people are thinking a little bit more about, maybe not having that bag of Cheetos or whatever, that, some of that I think plays into that. And so we did see, I think, some results because people are a little more motivated in thinking about it. And most importantly, when it comes down to this, to me, the return on investment is, what can we do to improve the quality of life of somebody? If we can make their life better, that they feel better, that they're a little more energy, that they're avoiding any kind of long-term medication, that when they're retired, that they can do the things that they want to do. They can go climb the mountain with Al at 70 years old. That's really what it comes down to. It's getting people to understand that personal responsibility about their health is theirs. You're the only one who can do anything about it. You can't point the finger at somebody else and say, oh, it's their fault. When it comes down to individual health, we all need to relay the message that you're the only one that can do anything about it. And how do you motivate your staff to get off their tails and just do something? And that's why we did something as simple as ride a bike. Get outside and do something. Turn the damn TV off and do something. Go for a walk after dinner. Actually go with your wife and talk to her. And the other part that we did, the idea was with the bikes was, we had $4 gas going into last summer. We're there again. So it's an idea that we put bike racks in and we try to ride your bike to work. You're saving money and doing something that's healthy for yourself. And so that's really what it comes down to us, is just what can we do to help people realize it's their responsibility. You need to take charge of it.
Tina?
We had much the same with the insurance. We came in at 12 to start, and we got it down to 4, and I think a lot of it was negotiation through efforts we were doing of our wellness program. But outside of that, on more of the qualitative side of things, I probably had about 10 success stories throughout our organization that, literally brought tears to my eyes. We had one individual who wrote a beautiful letter to the CEO and president thanking for, actually bringing this program into the organization and talking about, how he was at the diabetes, start of gout, lost 75 pounds, and you know what, it just kind of took someone motivating him and talking to him about it to do it, and it was neat that when he went to work, he had the support there. Just multiple success stories that came in that I've asked those people to share internally. That qualitative kind of stuff, I don't know that you can put a price tag on. And I think for us, that's paying dividends, because I kept telling the wellness committee members, you're going to get beat down, you're going to get challenged, you're going to get questioned, but hold on to one success story and keep telling yourself that you made a difference in one person, and that's what will be contagious. So we have a lot of that, and we're trying to get those people to share their success stories as they feel comfortable, because it will help us keep it alive. And I keep telling the wellness committee members, we just need to keep living it a little louder each year, and eventually, we'll make an impact.
In terms of return on investment, I also don't think that I can, tie it to, monetary or healthcare savings. But truthfully, that qualitative aspect that you just mentioned is indeed where we think we're getting a lot of return. And in terms of the employee involvement that we have with our program, we have had several new hires in the last year or so, and so we go out and we ask if they want to be, part of the team, and we've had people come on, and the camaraderie and the spirit and the teamwork that's involved in having an employee-driven wellness plan like we have is terrific. It really permeates the culture. Which I think is something that's really, really important. It shows that our company cares, our company is invested, and our company wants healthy individuals, which has a kind of a spirit of its own. I would also say, in terms of return, the idea of attracting and retaining employees is very, very important to us because that is our business. We are people, and that's what we have to sell. So, the idea of having this program that helps us retain employees because they feel the company is doing something to benefit them, that the company cares about them personally, is something that has been a great retention tool. And again, our recruiter is using this as a selling point when she's talking to potential prospective employees, which is something that is great as well. So again, I think the qualitative, I would agree, is the biggest return.
Tyler, I know Rexnord has had a third party measure your ROI. Could you tell us about that?
Sure, and I think that the human stories are so important to go along with the dollar stories as well. And we've done some work in collecting those stories as well. We give out 2 awards each month on just to individuals who have done something. But Rexnord as a corporation, I think, is interested in those things. But at the end of the day, they also want to see where their money is being spent and what the impact of those dollars being spent are. So Rexnord partnered with their vendor, which is Health Fitness Corporation, to do a very detailed return on investment analysis. So they looked at a 3-year period with a 1-year baseline, so 1 year prior to the wellness program being implemented. And it was, a lot of times we see sort of estimates based on national numbers and averages and things like that. So this program went one step farther, this analysis, I should say, went one step farther to actually look at specific individuals and compare them to similar individuals, with the one variable being their participation in the wellness program. So they looked at what they called diagnostic clusters. So if a person had high blood pressure or hypertension and also diabetes, a person who, let's say a 45-year-old male who had hypertension and diabetes versus a 45-year-old male with hypertension and diabetes who did the wellness program compared to the one who didn't do the wellness program, and what were their actual dollars spent. So we partnered with the medical care provider, United Healthcare, and also Anthem, provided 2 different medical plans for our company over that time period. So we looked at the actual dollars for the specific individuals. So it wasn't just an estimate or a guess based on averages or other numbers from other companies. It was Rexnord specific dollars. So what they found over the 3-year period was about a $2.50 return for every dollar spent. So for every dollar that was spent, it was $2.50, pretty close to $2.50 that was saved on actual medical expenses, that we could say these people who did the wellness program cost this much. These people, very similar in all categories, gender, age, disease clusters, diagnostic issues, and similar in all areas except for one did the wellness program, one didn't, and these are the trends, and this is the difference. And that took into account who participated in coaching, how many years they did the health assessment. So this was a 3-year period, and we found that people that did the health assessment all 3 years cost less than those who did it 1 year or no years. So it really looked very in-depth at specifics, and the return on investment was there, and it was a great thing to see. And we're interested going forward to see how we can either maintain that or improve that even farther. But I think it's worthwhile if you have a large enough population to look at. I mean, one thing to keep in mind with the ROI, I mean, if you're dealing with a smaller group, you can have one person's in a car accident. It has nothing to do with their exercise, their nutrition, or their stress, and that can have a huge impact on your medical care costs over a small population. When you're dealing with a larger population, those kinds of things don't make as much of an impact because they're not that common. But some things to think about as you're looking at it. But I think, especially for those of you with larger employee populations, there's definitely a value to looking at where those numbers come from, because you may have a CEO who's very interested in this, like Rob is here, and you never know. things can change. A new CEO can come in and say, how much are we spending on wellness, and what are we getting back for that? And if you can't show them what you're getting back for it, there's a good chance it's going to be cut. Even though everybody loves it, if you can't actually put a dollar amount on it, there's a possibility that it could be eliminated at some point. So it's always good to track those things, even if it's not being requested of you or required of you at this time.
Alan, why don't you take us home here?
I got nothing. But I'll take a shot at it. So we are a manufacturing business, and manufacturing is thought to be kind of a dirty, less than desirable environment, and our company turned out to be, in the small business category, the healthiest employer. That is a tool that we use for attracting potential hires to our business from your businesses that aren't as good as us. I want you to remember that, because that's the truth. Your machinists, your fabricators, your assemblers, your engineers are looking, and they're looking for the coolest company. I got more.
That works, Rob.
You know, one of the things I just wanted to add too, now that he's done with his soapbox over there, but we do it for everybody, whether you're in our health insurance or not. You know, anybody in our company is able to be in the wellness plan, and we want and encourage everybody to be in it. You know, whether you're in a healthcare or our plan or not is somewhat irrelevant to me. I mean, it's really all about exposing and trying to make your health better, which long term you'll be a better employee, better, you know, less absenteeism, all of those great things if you're doing some of the things that are right. So to me, it's not just all about, you know, saving on my health insurance. It's trying to make a better person.